Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go!
And welcome.
Mate, thanks for having me. This has been a long time in the making.
Mate, how long have we known each other?
6 months, maybe.
6 months, and we've talked about this since day dot.
And I think the only thing that was holding you back was you had to get the perfect logo.
Yeah.
Which is you now eating a sandwich for the Lunchtime podcast.
And I reckon it's come out brilliantly.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The mullet looks good.
That's probably when it was at its peak. I reckon I would probably let it go downhill a bit.
Pretty small bite of the sandwich, though, I would have thought. Thought you might have had a big bite.
Right. You know what this is? You know what the whole meaning behind the logo was?
Yeah.
As you can see, with the star sort of around it, it's kind of like a magical sandwich. And the sandwich in this case is the conversation.
See, this is like how this is your creativity.
Yeah.
It's like your tattoos. Just what's the latest tattoo you got? The kettle?
Yeah, probably a little
You got
coffee.
a kettle on your arm.
Yeah, the coffee pot.
What inspired that?
Just love coffee.
Yeah, okay.
No, I actually just do it to piss off my parents. That's all I do.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're the worst.
Yeah, you hate them. Yeah.
I get every time that I come home, because obviously I got a great relationship with my parents. Every time I come home, it's almost like they're just going like, why have you done this to hurt me again?
Yeah, you're really, really cutting in deep to them with that sort of stuff.
It's not for you guys.
It's just what you do though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So on this one time, I got the coffee pot. I got the...
I reckon you've got about 10. Is that about accurate? I feel like I'm interviewing you on the podcast, but it's actually flipped for now. How many tattoos do you actually have?
No, like 20-ish.
20.
Something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just little ones.
Yeah, just little ones. I'll never commit to something big.
Sleeve? Would you ever? No.
Nah, no
Like
way.
you? No.
No, that's not me.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, on the one day, so I got probably the most rare ones on the one day, which probably threw my parents a bit.
You and Blake Hardwick almost having a competition who can like do the most random.
Yeah.
Can I say shit? Random shit?
Yeah, just crack it out, man. I told you about this.
Yeah.
No, and I got the dude on my ribs as well. That's the guy, the Roman dude holding the ice cream. That was a random one as well.
It's a good piece.
Yeah, it's a great piece. We're going to get right into the pieces later.
Yeah, of course.
So I got you on here because I wanted to get to know, well, obviously I know a bit about you, but like this is showing the world of getting to know Tom Mitchell. Okay. So we actually mentioned before that it's like you're only sort of starting to do the social media side of things more recently anyway. So give us the rundown of like, you know, who you are, where you come from, sort of how you got to this moment right now.
Okay, life story sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Melbourne, eastern suburbs, grew up in Camberwell, had a very, I guess, fortunate, like lucky childhood. Like my dad was a football player and then a footy coach, and I loved footy, still do. And yeah, very fortunate to be doing what you love. Like I think that's like a key thing in life in general. And yeah, I was exposed to like, with my dad being around footy clubs, like he was at Carlton, finished playing in 96. I was only 3, so I don't really remember. And then was coaching there until about 07, I think. And so I pretty much grew up in like the change rooms at Carlton, and I just thought it was like the best thing ever. Like, you know, you're meeting the players, like things like that. And then
back in those days as well, they would have just been sinking tins after the
games.
Yeah.
Way better culture. Although we do it every now and then. But and then he had a year at Hawthorn in a way when they won the premiership as an assistant coach, and then he went to Freo. So over in Perth, so I moved to Perth at about 15. That was probably when my footy started to take off, under 16's National Carnival. I missed the under 15 state team for Victoria, and that sort of spurred me on. And then by the end of the following year, I was very fortunate in a lucky position. I had an offer from the Giants and the Swans at 16 to sign an AFL contract, which was crazy because I was just in a unique situation. So
that was pre-draft. Is that how it worked back then? Because now it's like you just get picked up at whatever number it is.
Yeah, so how it worked in my situation was that GWS had the first however many picks, I think it might have been 3, and the Swans, I was father-son linked there, and so both clubs were saying, well, if we know we're going to pick you, or we may as well get you in the program and do an extra pre-season year early.
Oh, right.
And so, I was just in a unique situation where I decided I'd nominate for the Swans, and then they said they'd take me the following year, and so I got an extra pre-season in. Yeah, but I was always injured, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. How come why Swans?
In the end, what was it? I think just the established club, like you knew what you were going to get. it was in a part of Sydney that was really cool as well, the eastern suburbs. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into at the Giants. They hadn't really formed themselves yet, but yeah, like they've obviously turned into a really strong club as well. So I think either way it would have been in a pretty fortunate position.
Bloody hard few years at the Giants, so when they first
early
started.
days.
What year were you drafted?
2011 draft. So my first year was 2012 when the Swans won the flag.
In 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were flying. They're a good team, and I think also, I guess, being around older players who forged successful careers and to learn some habits and things, like that was probably another factor.
Yeah. Because I'm just been thinking as well, because do you know what year Giants started?
Must have been that. Their first year in the AFL was 2012.
It was 2012?
Yeah.
Because think about the blokes that came in as 18-year-olds and like I actually don't know much about them in their first couple of years, but I know they didn't win many. So you could be well below standard, but you just get pumped AFL games.
Yeah. I know.
Whereas I was like, yeah.
I had to grind in the needle for like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I was like, I could be best on for 8 weeks. And I'm gonna give.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So obviously it was a success. What made you want to come? So how long were you at Swans? Sorry.
5 years at the Swans.
Yeah, and what spurred you to come back?
Probably mostly just like opportunity. Like I felt as though like I had a lot more to offer, and I was sort of in and out of the team early years. And then when I was in the team around 2015, 2016, I was playing some good footy, but like I was always sort of, starting on the bench and starting, out of position. And then I'm like, nah, I want to go to a club where I can really, I guess, flourish and show what I can do and come to a successful Melbourne club and come back home as well. That was a factor. So, the opportunity arose to come to Hawthorn, and then that's how it came about.
Yeah. So when you were saying before as well that your dad, did you move when you were 15 to Freo because of your dad? Or?
Yeah, so he was assistant coach at Freo.
Yeah, so your whole family came over here or just you? To Perth.
Yeah, the whole family went there.
Yeah. And
it was a weird age to sort of like move schools and things like that. Like, because everyone sort of got like their established like friendship groups. So it was so a mate of mine from Melbourne, Ben Danaher as well, his dad Neil obviously he moved to Perth at the same time. So I knew Ben, but everyone else at school was kind of, had their group. So we found our way in pretty easy. Got some great mates in WA, but it was just something new. Like I was pretty comfortable in Melbourne.
Oh, mate. Especially around 15, I reckon. Yeah. I was playing soccer throughout that sort of time in my life. And I joined a goalkeeping academy in Melbourne. And the bloke said to me, like, if you want to really pursue goalkeeping or whatever, we can send you overseas and join academies over there and try and, like, essentially get into a European league.
Holy crap.
And in theory, like, say I had my time again, maybe I would. But at the time, I'm going, are you joking? Like, leave my friends and family at 15.
I know, who's going to cook your home dinners?
No way. I can't look after myself living in the comfortability of Albury, let alone move into a different country.
You could be making tens of millions right now.
Yeah, I know, pretty stiff.
But the Lunchtime podcast is going to do that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So all you listening at home, donate too. Nah.
Yeah.
Mate. And so you got your siblings as well?
Yep. So younger brother, Will, younger sister, Chelsea. We're all pretty close. Will's playing VFL footy at the moment for Preston. And he's had a really good season or two, and he's had some interest at AFL club level as well. So
he's on that bloody... What's the list called as well? Like the injury list if a club has
the COVID protocols list.
Whatever
he's
that
on
is.
that for the Swans. But like, who knows? Like he's got a broken wrist at the moment, but he's definitely capable. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and you guys obviously are close. You live together and that as well.
Yeah, we live together, and we don't punch on as much as we used to. I reckon around that 15 age, that's when I reckon you're the biggest prick in your life at about, if you're a 15-year-old aged boy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's when you're
peak.
Peak
annoying.
dickheadness.
Yeah.
My brother used to always brawl.
Caught one actually last night. So I went to the little footy clinic or whatever. And that's when they're just most dumb lippy as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we're standing out the front, introduce myself. Hi, I'm Max Lynch. And they're just sort of like, all right, can we go kick the footies now or whatever? But like in a real mouthy tone.
Yeah,
I'm
disrespect.
You'll kick the footy when I fucking say you kick the footy, mate.
That was you one day though.
Oh, 100%.
You would have been the worst of the lot.
I don't give a shit if there's an AFL player coming to talk to me. I just want to go like...
You just want world-class goalies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you've moved to Melbourne. You're playing for Hawks.
Yep.
So Did it all sort of, when you found that you've come down here, just turn around for you, where you're just getting consistent games and things like that?
Yeah, so, the journey was Melbourne to Perth to Sydney, back to Melbourne, so I sort of did a lap of the country. And when I got back to Melbourne, I think, Clarko was great. Like, he just said, I'm just going to give you a chance just to play. Yeah. And then from there, I guess, 2017, 2018 was probably the best footy I've played, just from someone backing you in. And, I guess from a footy point of view, it was definitely, the right call. Love Hawthorn Footy Club and very grateful for the decision I made. It was the right one to make, and hopefully there's some team success coming.
Yeah, was it hard for you? Like, so I know you've moved, like similar to me, moved for opportunity, but it was really quite hard because I'm like, my best mates are
still some of my best mates are at the Swans now.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, we played in the 2016 Granny. That was my last game for the Swans. We lost. We probably should have won. We were favourites going in.
Oh, right.
So I was leaving after that, but I knew I had to go. But would have been good to end that on a high note. Like, probably, like you said, like 5 of my best mates. We played in that grand final team together. I'm like, imagine
going away.
Imagine the reunions and the carry-on.
Oh, you'd have to. There's yearly catch-ups.
Yeah, well, it's probably 6 monthly. I'd be doing them every quarter.
You play the Swans twice a year. Just make sure the lads hang around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, because I've been thinking about that often lately, where it's like, obviously, once you come into a new program, you're going to make your mates, obviously. Going to make your mates.
Day one.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
But it just takes a bit of time. Like, people often ask me about, like, how's the group, how you settling in? And I'm like, oh, great. Like, Hawks boys are amazing. But it still just takes that bit of time to actually get, like, deeper friendships. Like, I knew I'd walk into the Pies, I could have the shittest weekend ever.
Yeah.
But then you go in, it's just, I'm coming to work with my mates and it's all chill.
Yeah.
So.
And you form almost like, even the guys you're not as close with, like, you almost form like a little clique with everyone. Like, you've got like your little, I don't know, like, what would you call it? Like a little gag or joke with every player. And like, you probably, the guys you weren't as close with, you've probably got that little clique now. And so when you walk in and do your Lynchy stuff, like, but I know what you mean. It takes a bit of time, but immediately the guys you sort of click with, and sort of like school, isn't it? Like, everyone's close at the Hawks, but there's also like groups and things, and it's like everything.
I think when you said that little Lynchy thing you do or whatever.
Yeah.
I reckon I've come into Hawks with the reputation of just being the biggest fucking weirdo. You know what I mean?
That's why I got around you so early. I thought, I'm into this.
So in the induction day, like, because I know I've pumped out those like weird videos or whatever.
I love that.
I know. I just take the piss, but I feel like I'm a fairly normal guy.
I feel like you were very aware of that reputation. You tried to be serious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, mate, stop trying to be someone you're not. Like, be the funny guy. Like, I'm not going to like you to be serious. Yeah. Be funny.
Yeah. Well, it was that induction day, and I remember Sam Mitchell was sitting on the end, and he goes like, "Yeah, I want all you boys to be you, but like, do whoever you are, that sort of thing." And then he sort of looks at me and he goes, "Like, Lynchy, we haven't really seen it yet, but you're a fucking weirdo." Times. So I'm going,
how's that? Kicking the guts from the senior coach day one.
I know you're trying to pump me up, but a bit stiff, man.
Yeah. Yeah. They said, what else did they say about you?
Banger had a good one.
They were talking about introverts and extroverts, and they said, who's the most extroverted in the room?
Yeah.
And you'd been there for like a week, and they're like, yeah,
probably
it's probably Lynchy.
Actually, every time we have a meeting about anything, if they're like, Tommy, you can pick someone to do something, I've copped it on every single one.
Yeah.
Like,
you're in the gun regularly.
Make a name for, I don't know, it's like the culture group, Lynchy. Colour in the feet on a sign. Like, I don't know if you've seen it at home, but we got this sign that it's supposed to be like about one of our players.
So the guy on the bench, if we change our game style mid-game, puts up this sign, and we all know what it means, and you have to paint the shoes or something.
So the shoes were the wrong colour on this sign. And it's like, who wants to paint the shoes? Oh, Lynchy will do it. Annalie saved my life, actually. She ended up doing it. She had some arts and crafts because I was going,
great.
Stitch
That would
up.
have like taken up your whole pre-game day. Like, they're big shoes.
Just going, I'm stressed about getting this sign right, not worried about how I'm going to go tomorrow.
Yeah, priorities.
What else have we got? We've already mentioned a little bit about day one. So I've actually got a good little.
Well, when I called you before, I'm just like, do you want to give me a heads up about anything that's coming? You said, nah. I want it authentic. So I don't even know what you're going to say here. Well, I remember driving you on my first memory of you is as soon as you got traded.
Yeah.
I texted you. I'm like, I think I like this guy. I'm getting good vibes. Just don't know why. And then obviously I was driving you. You didn't have a car for a while.
What was Oh, yeah, poor. I don't know if she'd like me talking about it, but poor Izzy, my girlfriend, had a shock in 2 weeks, two car accidents that weren't her fault.
So I was pretty much Ubering you around Melbourne for like 5 months. You still owe me like 50 lifts, by the way.
Known each other for 6 months, been Ubering me around Melbourne for 5.
Yeah.
That's cap.
Oh, I know. It doesn't add up, does it? But I remember picking you up on your day one. Well, you tell me what you were going to say.
Yeah, so I've got, this is perfect.
Oh, God.
Ever how you remember
I'm worried.
No, it's fine, because I remember what happened was I got the trade, and then I was, getting the text from like every man and his dog, and then you sent me one, and it was like, hey, Lynchy, I've seen some of your stuff. We're going to get on like a house on fire. Let me know if you want a lift in, and we'll go into the club together, because it can be a bit daunting, stuff like that.
Good bloke.
Oh, great guy. Great guy, I think. Great start. So then, anyway, I've seen Reddit and gone, Tom Mitchell, and I've gone like, Tom Mitchell's just texting me, like Brownlow, all that shit, whatever. And then she's going, that's exciting. And then when we met the next day, I was like, oh, he's just a normal weirdo like me.
Yeah, probably weirder.
Yeah. So you've ended up picking me up the next day. We've gone into the club.
Yeah.
And just hit off like a house on fire right from the start.
Yeah, we did. I think we had the GoPro on us day one as well. Remember that?
Yeah, day one preseason.
Yeah, we had the GoPro. Although we were training together before that. Yeah. So when you got traded, it was obviously in the off season. And so, yeah, that's how we sort of brought you in with the lads. Like I was like, come do his training sessions with us. And then we did that monster session at that park in Hawthorn. Yeah. Before we had that 4 days off. Yeah, we did heaps of sessions.
That was because we had so preseason hadn't started. I wanted to go in, just sort of meet everyone, do a gym session or something. Yeah. And we just sort of like, fuck about it.
First thing you said when you walk in the gym, you're like, what's the bench press record? I'm like, mate, you're full of yourself.
All right. Because there's in the gym, there's this big whiteboard of PBs and whoever's got the title essentially, and I've just walked straight up to that and I was like, I want all of them.
It wasn't a walk, it was a strut, and you're peering off the biggest number. You're like, but to your credit, I'm going to give you a pump up here because I know you won't say it yourself and you're going to love it. You benched what'd you get to, like 130, 140 this year?
130.
For how many reps?
3.
Pretty strong. Well done.
Thanks, man. No, cheers.
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, pay me that 50 later. Pay me that 50 later.
Yeah, no worries. So that's actually all the requirements. We've set that in the pod.
I'll head off.
We can jet now. Yeah. And we've mentioned it before as well. But so I wanted to talk a bit about how sort of the different things that pop up in footy clubs. So a bit of the inside gags and the jokes of different footy clubs.
Well, we've both been at 2 clubs now, and how do you explain this? It's kind of like every club has different sort of humour. Like some clubs are like use a lot of sarcasm. Some clubs, I don't know, like just, you know what I mean? Like it's like different, and you have to like find how you fit into it. It's footy clubs are footy clubs. But yeah, what's your experience of Hawthorn v Collingwood been? Is it different in that regard?
It's definitely different. Yeah. And there's a couple of things about it that I want to get into as well. It's like you got your gags amongst the players, but there's also gags, I don't know, like if there's particular staff members, things like that. So at the Pies, I reckon everyone got along really well, but there was a couple of blokes that probably stand out as like everyone loves them, but they're the guys that you sort of just take the piss out of.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So like
bullying.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's a whole club.
Pretty much workplace bullying.
Yeah. We just target a couple of fellas. Yeah. Easy targets. Oh, God. So one of them anyway is Nathan Murphy at the Pies, and like he's one of my good mates. But it just seems that it's like if anyone's similar to me, where it's like if we're in the theatre and someone goes like choose someone to do something, it's like that's Murph. Yeah, at the Pies, and he cops it real well. But everyone just knows that he's the brunt of the jokes. Whereas at the Hawks, which is like I can't get it out of my everyday vocabulary. But give us your view on the rundown of the whole piece situation.
It's a pandemic. I wouldn't call it a situation.
It's actually taken over the world.
Well, I don't know if you've explained it to your listeners before. Is this the first time?
This is the first time.
So the piece is out of the bag as of today.
Peace has possibly been one of the main talking points on this bit of this bit of paper.
So there's a group of us at the footy club, and we noticed it more started externally, like watching TV and media conference and that everyone would say the word peace on the end of everything. Like they're talking about team synergy, or like, oh, that's just that connection piece, or you know, belonging to a team. That's just that belonging piece. But wouldn't it just be connection and belonging? Like, why are you throwing that extra word in? And then we really started focusing in on it, and all the stuff we're always dropping pieces. And like, you can throw a piece on the end of everything, but it's just like your sentences don't need to be that long. Like, it's that podcast piece. It is, but it's just the podcast. Once we started like really, and it's like it's filtered through the club, like where everyone's all over it now.
Who do you reckon the starting couple were? Because I caught onto it late.
I was first.
You were first.
Me and Flip. Yeah. Shout out to Flip for letting us use his studio.
Yeah.
We were all over it. We were onto this in 2021. So everyone listening, listen out to footy commentary media for the amount of times people say pace. It's that pace.
It's been dropped a couple of times already. First year, Josh Ward said it at a post-game press conference.
Mate, it's a pandemic.
It was incredible. It was such a good drop of the piece as well. But so I reckon I don't know. I'd be sitting in the back. Actually, this is another great thing that's happened. So seeing is that I'd get on with Tom and I sat next to you in the theatre.
Yeah, I saved you a seat.
Yeah, save me a seat. Normally, when you get new to a club, you got to sit towards the front. I'm back row from day one.
You're back row middle. You've got the best seat in the whole house. It was Sean Burgoyne, like similar types. He's played 500 games between you, so that's similar types. But
and a half. I only got through a half.
I thought I went above and beyond for you. I'm like, I'm going to drive him to work. I'm going to save him a seat. Like, you were set. Yeah. But you've got the best seat, I reckon. Yeah, so I've got probably second best.
Yeah. So now with the we're looking, we can look at everyone else that's sitting in front of us.
Yep.
So then someone gets up the front and they say, it's like, just when we go out to train today, it's just that,
team defense piece or
that
something.
Team defense. It's just that tip in piece. And then I just hear these sort of giggles just ruffle through all the players.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
there's a group bottom left, like the CJs and screamers, and you can always see them like laughing.
Just the Bob.
And then we're just at the back like, they're gone.
So I'm sitting there going, what the hell is actually going on?
Yeah.
And then there's another time that we come out of the meeting and another one of the boys that is just like everyone gets around is Dylan Moore.
Yeah.
He gets out and he just erupts like, oh my God, did you hear how many there were then or whatever? He's counting all the pieces that are dropped in a meeting.
Yeah, he's got the counter on. He gives you an over and under before each meeting. He's like, how many this meeting? Will be like 7? He's like, yeah, I'll say 7.5, like over 7.5.
Can I just jump in here? So do the coaches know about the gag? Do they know that everyone's taking the piss out of the connection piece?
Yeah, or everyone's onto it now. Yeah, everyone's onto it now. So earlier they didn't. No one knew. But the whole playing group knew.
But that was the problem, that seeing as not many people knew and then it'd slowly start filtering through.
Yeah.
That, like, in serious, like, got to be, like, by the book.
That's where it got out of hand.
Be quiet and listen because something serious is going up the front.
Yeah.
Like someone's getting in trouble or whatever, and then they just go, it's like, I don't know, drop a outrageous piece.
It's just that respect piece.
Respect piece. And everyone's just giggling. That's when the coaches are up the front and they're like, wait on. This is not okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there's been some outrageous... So back to Maury. Like, he's got a list in his notes of, like, the most outrageous pieces that have been dropped. So for the MVP Awards, which will be held later this year. But, like, there's been... what were some of the most outrageous ones? Like...
The
synergy and cohesion piece.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be synergy and cohesion? Like, why are you saying piece on the end? You don't need to say piece.
Alcohol consumption piece was another good one.
That was a good one. Oh, I can probably get the list up. Do you want me to get while we're talking?
If you want to give us a little read.
I'll get Maury to send them some.
There's geez, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of some more.
There's also a group. You're not in it, sorry, but we might actually called Troy Makepeace. Remember him? He used to play for North Melbourne. We thought that was sort of like applicable footy clubs and pace. Anyway, Maury's got a whole notes section here.
So when it finally was brought to the attention that someone, so the particular staff member we won't name, who was saying
there's heaps of stuff. It wasn't one. It was
one. Well, the staff members that were saying it too often, it actually.
But it wasn't there. It started outside the club. It started somewhere else. Like it's in everyone's language.
Yeah, and then it's got brought in, and then people became aware of it. Now it's just like if someone says it in front, everyone pretty much erupts, and then the person who said it knows, like, oh, like damn it, I said piece, didn't I?
And now you can't even say things like bits and pieces, which isn't a piece, but it's a variation of the piece. It's like a COVID variant. It's a piece.
Don't you love how things like this just creep into your everyday life?
Yeah. I'm so aware of saying piece now, I can't say it.
You can't say it because it'll take over.
Yeah.
But there's other things like in your workplace, people have certain tendencies or whatever, like certain hand gestures.
Yeah, mate. footy clubs as well, though, you can't get away with anything.
Yeah, people
You can't get away
pick
with
you apart.
anything. Like,
They will definitely pick you apart. But there's one in particular that I wanted to talk about that is when it's Scrimmer and CJ again.
yeah.
But those two, like I said, when we're sitting in the back row, you just see them doing the most funny things during meetings or whatever. But someone says something a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit dumb or something like that. These two boys will look at each other and go, yeah, like this.
Yeah.
I've then brought this into everyday life without even knowing about it. So Izzy said something at home one time.
Yeah.
Like that's something that might have been a bit common sense. And I've just gone, yeah, like this. And she's almost like taking a couple of steps back like, what the hell was that?
I'm not across this one. So you're in the early stages of this, whatever this thing is developing, but this sounds like it could become one of those things. Yeah. I'm glad I'm aware of it now. So thanks for telling me.
Oh, but then
You just got to be like so on your toes at footy clubs. Like we did a top the list in the physio room. It's like most fashionable to least fashionable, and
vanity.
people are walking in the room just getting ripped.
It was the vanity.
But yeah, there was that as well. But it's just
There's what was that? Or we just a quotes board from Chaz, one of the other players. So it was just like
Probably
anything.
can't say
Oh
that.
no, we won't go too much into that. But it was just like if there's any ridiculous quote that he said, it'd just be written up on the board.
Yeah. There's the whiteboard is probably the best part in the footy club.
Think that the whiteboard in the physio room could be used for
physio
for notes about
the banter room.
how the guys are going. But the physios are probably the drivers.
Well, laughing makes you happy. Happy makes you like less prone to injury. So maybe there's something in it.
There surely has to be something in that. If you're sad, you're more prone to injuries. Or
Who
prone to
knows?
ping a hammy or something.
Yeah,
'cause
who
your
knows?
hammies are sad.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. That's your domain.
So you've brought in with us. Moving on from the pieces. Well, no, we'll stay on the pieces. You've brought in the ball magnets piece.
Yeah, the ball magnets beanie piece. One's for you, by the way. You can pick a colour.
Ooh.
You got grey.
I reckon that's too much on the Giants piece. I'll go the black.
Okay.
But give us the rundown of what ball magnets is all about. Like why have you decided that this is the path that you want to go down?
Back to sort of the start of when we started chatting, like when I came into, I guess, playing AFL footy, like everything was footy for me. And it was like, I'm not thinking about life after footy because I just want to do footy. And then as you get a bit older, I'm 28 now, it's like, okay, hopefully still got 5 or 6 years left. But like you start thinking about, okay, well, what am I going to do next? You need to be prepared and things like that. And I came up with this concept in lockdown, actually, so 2020, of creating like a footy skills app for kids. And I sort of came from the lens that I wanted to create something that I would have loved as a kid to help me. And the purpose of it was because everyone was locked up. I'm like, well, how can they do some things with footies, in partners, with touch drills and kicking drills to be, get the best out of themselves while they were locked up, really. And from there, I met up with Paddy Cripps and Lockie Neal, two of my mates, and obviously at different clubs, and they loved the idea. They got on board. Erin Phillips got on board. She was arguably the best player in the AFLW, and a ton of other players have come on the app, and it's just grown from there. So it's been going for 2 years now. We've got over 16,000 subscribers on there. It's all free, so it's all with good intention and just pretty much learning everything we've learned in our AFL careers and putting it into the app of what people would want to know.
Do you have sort of different sort of skill levels? Because I know that there was like, I've only had a small experience about seeing it, but there's one that's quite technical about, like, say, if when Tommy Papley is a forward 50 ground ball or something like that, whereas, if there's a 6-year-old kid running around, they're not thinking about ground balls.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So probably the main age demographic for us is probably 10 to 20, boys and girls. So I guess Auskick sort of has that footy kid sort of phase. We're probably more, with the knowledge we have, like how can we actually help the kids who actually want to learn things in more detail. So it is slightly more advanced. Having said that, there are drills that are more beginner-based, some that are more advanced-based. So it sort of covers for everyone, but there's also a heap of stuff on there around like mental skills, diet, things like that for parents and coaches. So we've got a ton of parents and coaches signed up who are learning heaps of things and then teaching their kids via the app as well.
I reckon diet was probably one of the worst things for me, like just like pre-getting drafted, I reckon. So my parents were amazing with diet and things like that in terms of, you got to eat healthy, you want to be fit, you want to do exercise, things like that. So then when I got a bit of freedom, I probably just ruined all that good work. Yeah. Just go like, I've got my license or something now, I'm just going to go out and get an ice cream or just go.
Servo style.
Yeah, exactly. With a couple of my mates, which I actually reckon that if I could place it to anywhere,
Yeah.
Monumental Ice Creamery in Albury is where my dairy intolerance started because I would just have thick shakes every day. I loved it.
How good's a thick shake? What flavour did you get?
Oh, so, well, they just, like, I especially because when they're so often, I just get to know them and just go, like, stuff it, like, just put 2 or 3 of these ice creams in there and just make it so thick.
Wow.
Just blended up ice cream. But I was always like there was a flavour that was like Tim Tam and stuff.
Oh, that's mint.
I can't have, now I probably haven't had a Tim Tam since.
Yeah. Well, at least like maybe for goalying, like it would have made you a bit bigger and like been able to stop.
No, this was playing footy.
Oh, so
this
was
digital.
probably not the best.
Nah, that's when I was just, trying to be a big lumber in ruckman.
Yeah. Well, mate, we'll get you on ball magnets. We'll show you what to eat.
And say if you're 15, you've moved to Perth, it hasn't quite worked out and you haven't been picked up, what would you be doing? Do you reckon you would have stayed along the lines of maybe you want to do something like this, like with ball magnets? Or
got no idea. It's hard to it's almost asking like what would you do if you weren't playing footy, isn't it? That sort of question. I got no idea.
Did you have anything, like say if you didn't have all your eggs in the basket of AFL, what were you thinking that you could have as a career path?
Yeah, well, it would have been something in sport, I think. Like that was sort of, I just loved sport as a kid, whether it be basketball, athletics, footy, cricket, everything really. I was studying sport and exercise science, so that would have led to physiotherapy, which would have been something I would have been into. So in the sports sort of region, or domain, sorry. And but yeah, I still actually don't know.
Yeah. It is quite an impossible question, I suppose, because it's like, well, I don't know what would have happened after school. Would I have stayed in Perth or? Yeah,
I don't know. Like maybe I may have had more of an idea if I was close to 18, but once I was, I guess, 16, I was in that fortunate, unique position. I was so young, like that's. That's what I knew I was going to be doing.
Did you find from your dad as well that you had any sort of, I don't know, if it was like I don't know what the word is, but like any pressure put on you regardless of whether it was intended or not? So like not like your dad saying like you had to play footy or it was just like, No,
I never felt that pressure from anyone. It's just always what I wanted to do. And I was just always encouraged and like family's only been supportive and helpful and sort of, helped me get to where I am and been on the journey with me the whole way. So just, being very appreciative of that. Saying all the right things. Yeah. Not like you to your parents.
No, they're funny. They know that I'm taking the piss.
And so with ball magnets, is there any plan to take it away from just footy and have it for, say, cricket, basketball or anything like that? Yeah,
there is. That's the, I guess, big picture. We want to nail the AFL space first, or the AFL piece. And, I think, we've had players like Dylan Shield, Jack Steele, Toby Green, like players from all over the league. So I think the AFL component is really growing. But I think there is intentions down the track to, head into basketball and, cricket and all these other sports and, use professional athletes in that sport to sort of control that. So we've sort of already spoken to some other athletes in those sports and that's where it could head. And I think with the name ball magnets, like that sort of applies to anything. Whereas if it was footy something, it sort of knocks that out. So that was in the planning in the early stages as well.
Foresight.
Hey?
Foresight.
Yeah.
That's very smart. Yeah. I think just like footy.
No, we thought goalies and soccer as well.
Yeah. I was actually thinking as well. I would just upon reflection just now, I was like, I do primary school teaching at uni, but sometimes I go, I don't know if that's something that I really want to do and whatever. And I mentioned before that I've come to your ball magnets thing once before.
That's right.
I reckon I've got to take control of the socials.
Dude, your cameo was probably the best thing we've had on there. You had the best ideas.
I've come to this day. So this is when we first just started to get to know each other as well.
Yeah.
And Tommy Papley was there.
Yeah.
So obviously the two established AFL players did the actual footy stuff. And it's like, righto, Lynchy, go on then. What can we do here sort of thing. So I've just... Again,
we brought you down for the humour. I was doing like a serious like Paps, like show me how to play forward pocket. Yeah. And then Lynchy, I was like, Lynchy, do some funny shit. Yeah. You're like, you've come to the right guy.
Yeah, exactly. I got a free kit out of it.
Yeah, you got a free kit.
Yeah.
And Paps is chasing you around the oval.
Yeah.
You climbing the cricket net.
Yeah. Just going, all right, I don't know if it's going to hurt or not, but I'm just going to run into this cricket net. Then on the way home, get pulled over by the cops. It was mad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had unregistered car.
Yeah.
And we got pulled over with Paps and we're in the ball magnets kit and we're like, this probably isn't great for the brand. Like, not a good look.
There were
Yeah,
actually,
that's right.
and I can't remember his name, but there was a reporter that was driving past.
No, it was Ben Dixon.
Oh, Ben Dixon.
Yeah, he's a Hawthorn person, and he saw you in Lynchy. What's going on there? I was
Yeah.
like, I know, one of the boys had an
he's-
unregistered car. Yeah, we're walking up Glenferrie Road in ball magnets gear,
Yeah.
and there's a cop siren. We're like,
Yeah.
far out. But no, that was pretty funny. It was a good day, that one. Good
was a
shoot.
great day.
Yeah,
Probably do again.
yeah.
If you need any content, I was actually saying as the clinic yesterday, that's probably the most amount that I got was just like, bring back the videos.
Yeah.
And then there was other
Well,
people.
that's your thing. You
Yeah.
should, you found your niche.
Yeah.
You do you.
That's right. And also, now that I've made the logos, I simply cannot cut off the mullet.
You got merch coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how soon, but
Okay.
merch definitely has to be
Yeah.
maybe a
I'll trade you a
collaboration.
beanie for a shirt or something.
Collaboration, ball magnets,
Yeah.
lunchtime piece.
Yeah, it's a great piece. That's an incredible piece.
I have some things for you now.
Okay.
This is a little segment. A little segment that we like to call Would You Rather?
Okay. Did you just make these up on the spot?
No, there's a couple that I've like searched up,
Okay.
and there's a couple that I've been through before.
Okay.
Not on the pod, but
Okay.
ones that I know that are great talking.
Is it like PG rated, MA 15 plus
It can
rated?
be whatever rated that you want.
Okay.
Maybe stay away from the
Yeah.
two dark ones. Okay. There's a couple actually that I went through on. We had to do a little dating exercise at the footy club that you would have been a part of. Mm-hmm. A couple of these were made when I was on my date with Dylan Moore.
So when you say, so everyone knows, so dating, and we had to speed date with pretty much every player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just like a quick little session.
Yeah, it was like
build
it was a connection piece.
It was the connection piece to
Yeah.
get the players together.
Yeah.
Know a bit more about each other.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
First off, would you rather know how or when you're going to die?
When? Actually,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
When?
When
You
or
know
how.
when. So like if I was going to die next year, I'm like, all right, I'm cramming in heaps of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Don't know what's coming, but I'm just going to get all the
100%.
heaps of
And-
content with Lynchy in.
Yeah. Because I think if you're going how,
Yeah.
you're just constant fear. Unless it'd be something great, like Jim made a good point, saying if it was skydiving, it's just like, right, I'll just stay away from skydiving till
Yeah.
I'm 300.
Yeah.
But if it's something that it's like, cars, something related to
Yeah,
cars.
well, then
you're
you'd be
like, well,
passing
shit.
out every time you're in the car.
Yeah, so I'd 100% go when
Yeah,
as well.
I'm
Because
pretty-
then if it's like, if it's like, oh, you'll die in 60 years' time, you just go, oh, sweet, I'll
Yeah.
just live normal.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, that is fun. It'll progressively get harder.
Okay.
Number 2, would you rather be in jail for 5 years or in a coma for 10? This one's definitely tougher.
Jail.
You'd prefer jail for 5? Why?
I don't know. I think like might give you a bit of gratitude as to what life's like on the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's political.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I don't know. Like
That is very good.
But that's surely the only answer. You know, because
Jail.
Well, a coma, unless like you're coming out, you haven't used your legs in 10 years.
yeah, like you
Oh,
can still have a bit of
true.
purpose in there. You can
I didn't even think about the atrophy.
actually it depends what the crime was.
Oh, why? Yeah, because if it's, what are you going to do, you sicko?
Unregistered car. Nah. Yeah.
Because I immediately went to, when you said, what crime? I was like, yeah, because like the real bad ones, like sex offenders and stuff, they just get like picked on, I suppose, in jail.
Yeah.
But then I was like, why is your head going there, Tom?
No, I think jail would be like you can still
Yeah.
They're both not ideal situations.
Yeah, no.
And there's one thing with jail. I learnt this years ago, just in case I ever go to jail, because I'll get destroyed in jail. So I looked up how to make prison wine.
Prison what?
Oh, prison wine. It's easy. You get like breadcrumbs, you get some fruit, put it in a bag, and then like put it in your toilet bowl or whatever. You'd like hide it in there.
Yeah.
Eventually it ferments. You got yourself some wine.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's how you make friends in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Link.
So you're the alcohol distributor in prison.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think I'd also just try and this is, rate myself.
Yeah.
I'd just try and make myself as ugly as possible going into prison. You know what I mean? So
Throw
I'm
the mullet down past your legs.
least likely a target.
Yeah.
No, but from the back, you'd look all right.
Yeah, exactly. Can't have
Oh,
two.
true. You look like a princess.
Yeah, something like that. Rapunzel.
Yeah.
No way. I'm
Yeah.
shaving my hair off for sure.
Yeah.
No eyebrows.
Yeah.
I don't know. Punch myself, like split my forehead or something, make him think that I can fight.
Oh God, this is your creative mind at its best.
Number 3, would you rather be royalty 1,000 years ago or an average person now?
What did they do back then?
I don't know. I suppose you can pick a time. So like if it's like you're a Roman king or something, or if you're, I don't know, somewhere in Egypt.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be sick. Go to the pyramids.
You're literally just building a massive tomb for yourself back then.
Yeah, I'd do that. Yeah, I reckon it'd be cool. Like I already know what life is like now. Like it'd be cool just to go back in time and just check it out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I suppose if you had, but then you're diving into the question of like, do you know what life is like now if you're choosing to go back there or whatever? I just thought of the point though that it's like if you're royalty 1,000 years ago, it's like, yeah, sick. I'm royalty, but I'll probably die at 24.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like healthcare is probably not ideal.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to you on this one.
And you don't have Netflix. What do you do on your lazy days?
Well, that'd be the world you'd want to explore. Imagine like, you would have been asked this question surely, but like imagine like world without technology. Like what they used, like what would you do?
No lunchtime podcast. I'd be screwed.
Yeah, you'd be stuffed. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon it'd be cool to go back and do that.
I think it definitely depends where. But I also think that it's like,
mate, stay at mine in the what are they called again? Not the temples, pyramids.
Oh, in the pyramids.
Yeah.
In the massive tomb.
Yeah.
I was thinking though,
pyramid piece. That's another. Sorry, off topic. But when you get a P something piece, like a pivotal piece, or
that's a better one. Is it? Is that
like,
a more?
They just roll off so well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'll 100% be rolling them out in the club now. So I was just going to mention as well that, you know, we talked about we were being the little shits in 15 or whatever. There's no leniency 1,000 years ago. They just kill you.
Really?
Well, I think.
Were you there?
Yeah. That's just where my head goes. It's like, you know, I don't know. Say if, I'm royalty.
Stole bread.
Yeah, if you stole bread, they'd kill you.
Yeah,
but you're royalty, so you're not stealing bread.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I'll have to do a bit of searching on that one. Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
Early, always.
100%.
Yeah, I hate the feeling
the
feeling of being late.
He wants to be 20 minutes late.
Yeah, but I don't have a job that requires being on time like yours does.
Oh.
Right.
Coming late for me is fine, and it just means like if you go to a party or something like that, you're not the first one there. I hate
so you're in party mode. We're thinking like professional.
Yeah, see, I'm allowed to party.
Yeah. Yeah, I think early. I hate. There's no way. Oh, it's happened a couple of times. Like, with guys at the club when you're late, and it's just like, it's the worst feeling in the world.
If you come into it, because you have to rock up to meetings. If you're late into a meeting, everyone knows.
Yeah.
So and this is a thing that I've had to work out with Izzy over the years, that she is the 20 minutes late person and I'm the 10 minutes early. So it stresses me out every time that we're going late to somewhere.
Yeah.
So we've had to figure out, it's like anything that's mine, we're on time or we're early. Anything that's hers will just be as late as she wants. I don't care. It's
that's fair.
That's fine.
How early do you get there on game day? Are you early bird or late bird?
Nah. I'm there when I'm required there. Like, if it's an hour and a half or something, I'm there at an hour and a half.
See, I'm always the first one there. Don't know why. Just always been routine.
My brain would explode.
I get there like 2 hours 15, I reckon, before.
My goodness.
Yeah. There's normally Frosties there as well.
My goodness.
So me and Frosty hang out a bit.
Yeah. No, that's terrible. I couldn't do that.
I just if it's one thing that's in my control, like I would hate if I'm like, so you know how you have to be there for a meeting, that meeting hour and a half. I'm like, if I'm stressing on the way to game, it's just I just need to be relaxed. I'm just like, just going to get there and just chill.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I do get that, especially because stuff goes wrong so often.
There's like you'll get a text from the club being like massive traffic jam on this part of the road. You're like,
yeah, trouble. And I got last one. It's not a would you rather, but it's sort of like a bonus. Is if you could commit one crime, what would it be? And get away with it. I've put my brain into this one. So this is another one that was on the date with Maury.
Still the Lunchtime podcast.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Could I do that?
Yeah, if you want.
Let's do it, Jim.
And then immediately the Lunchtime podcast earnings go through the roof.
Yeah.
Tom Mitchell.
Yeah.
In charge of the Lunchtime podcast. We talked about this one for a while.
Was this on the speed dating, was it?
Yeah, but I missed the actual speed dating. So we got like a review of the speed date and we ended up doing our own.
Yeah.
So we talked about just fitting as many crimes into one just to experience them. So we'd go, you know, have you seen Money Heist by any chance?
Nah, I've been planning on watching it.
Yeah. It doesn't spoil anything.
Is it robbing banks or something?
Yeah. But so you haven't seen any? No. I don't think it's spoiling. I mean...
I don't mind. You can spoil it.
Yeah, fine. I'm going to spoil. But they go the second season. They go to a money printing place. So instead of going into a bank and you can only get as much as you can carry in duffel bags or whatever, you go into a printing place. So you're like a whole day worth of printing. But then we're like, maybe we incept someone that we don't like. It's Inception. Into working at that place. Yeah. So then you can like hold them hostage whilst taking the money.
Mate, you're a psycho. I'm really concerned.
Like, I'm not going to name names either, but
I've got too close to you.
But if there's like, I'd never hate anyone. But if I had to choose one person that I hate, it's a bloke who I went to school with. I'm not going to name him.
Yeah, let's name him.
But if I keep him there, maybe he's just like, you know, I'm printing the money and I just sit on the floor, pistol whip him in the face or something, and then just get to hold him there, just scare the life out of him for a day, and then take the money and leave.
Mate, your mind does crazy good things.
It's a really dark fantasy. Like,
it is.
A really dark fantasy.
Yeah. For someone with such a bright, happy logo. Like.
Yeah. Like, isn't the whole... What's the thing? Like, the best revenge is living happily. You could just become rich.
Yeah, just get on with it.
Through a crime, yeah.
The pistol whip sounds pretty good. Well, anyway, mate, thanks so much for coming on the Lunchtime podcast. It's been a pleasure to chat.
Yeah, the podcast pace has been
We
late.
finally got it.
But 6 months later.
6 months in the making.
Been spoken about a lot, and mate, thanks for having me.